Hey guys, real quick, I just wanted to share something that I've experienced a lot of freedom and peace and hope in, and just what I've learned the more I dig into Scripture and get closer to Jesus. Yeah? You saw a dog? Aw, yeah. Oftentimes, or many people experience depression, anxiety, low self-esteem. These things, especially in the West, have just riddled our culture, riddled generations, and young people are just crippled by it. And oftentimes we try to combat that with any verse that has the word anxiety in it, or, all of these verses about, our hope being in the Lord, which is all good and fine and true. But often it's the only thing that people are using as an antidote for this issue. I believe, I don't want any, no, that's bird seed. You can put it right there. I think the antidote for a lot of these issues is knowing Christ, knowing God, knowing His character, and knowing His purposes, or at least having a grid for purposes far beyond our comprehension and our ways. And so, yeah, just encouraging you to get to know God in every way possible. Today I discovered Amos, A-M-O-S, Amos, chapter, I think it's 4. The whole chapter is God just bringing this smackdown threat on the Israelites, saying that He's given them, famine and hunger and floods and storms and destroyed their crops. And after each thing that He lists, He said, and still you did not come to me, still you did not come to me. And then He says, since you never came to me, get ready to meet your God, because something's coming. You want to see more dogs?
Yeah.
Love you. And that's a scary part of His personality. That's a big thing. I find myself... Yeah, Trinity, hold on. I'm doing a video. Wait. I find myself thoroughly enjoying passages like that and laughing, because the only person that really can talk like that is God. The only person who has a right to flex like that is God. The only person who can throw down like that is the almighty sovereign God. And obviously that's old covenant. But He still manages the universe. He still has universal purposes. He has purpose. He deals with us on an individual level. He interacts with our families. He deals with us on levels of cities and states and nations and even the world. He accomplishes global purposes, and individuals fall under that. So when He's accomplishing a global purpose, we are all subject to His dealings with the world. So, just encouraging you to get to know Him fully. Don't shy away from the fear of the Lord. Don't shy away from learning what He thinks about sin and disobedience and anger and selfishness and haughtiness and pride. It's good to look Him full square in the face as much as is humanly possible right now. Some things I've learned and would encourage you to seek out is well, first of all, unity with Christ, what that means, union with God. Also sin, how it's taught so often as like it offends or hurts us. It's not God's best plan for us, and so that's why it's bad. First and foremost, it's bad because it's against God. He hates it. When you sin, even when you murder somebody, you've hurt God more than you've hurt that person or that person's family. Your sin has come straight against God. Even the slightest wrong thought is crucifying the Son of God all over again. So look into that. Look at the Scriptures. It's all over. Also the anger and the wrath of God, or the fear of the Lord. All these things are huge aspects of His character that are greatly missing in the church today. And I believe the antidote for anxiety is not shying away from the fear of the Lord, or ignoring His anger and wrath, or just writing it off as a small or outdated thing. What actually needs to happen, especially if you don't like the idea of His anger or wrath, is learning thoroughly about it. What's the truth about it? What is it actually like? You'll hear people say that His wrath and His anger is holy. Find out what that means. Don't just hide from it and shy away from it. It actually will bring peace. It will actually cut away the footholds of the devil to give you fear of man, fear of your situation, fear of him, fear of circumstances, fear of this virus, fear of the world. We get it so backwards. We're supposed to fear nothing, not a person, not a soul, not a situation, not a death threat, not a life-threatening situation. We are to fear only one thing, and that's our God. He's big, he's holy, and he's the only thing we should fear. So look into that. Look at how big and grand he is, how even the largest things in the world fit in the palm of his hand. The biggest scenarios, the darkest days, the worst evil is small in his sight. All your problems are small in his sight. He interacts with you in the midst of them. He comes into time and interacts with you one-on-one out of his love and his grace, but none of it has him biting his nails. None of it has him anxious, unknowing what's coming next. He has it all under control. Nothing can thwart his hand. Nothing can come against God. And if you're hearing me talk right now and you want verses, message me on Facebook. I will send you tons and tons of verses all throughout Scripture, Old and New Testament, backing up everything I'm saying right now. Get to know God for who he is fully. Reject depression, reject anxiety by coming into the knowledge of God. He's given us all we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of him, 1 Peter says. So get to know him.